Welcome back to Personal Branding in Motorsports. I'm TJ Fry, and if you're new to this channel, I bring you into the world of professional driving along with tips and tricks to help you grow your brand, sign sponsors, and build your career behind the wheel. Today, I'm going to talk to you guys all about daily content, which of course can be a pretty big challenge. I'm going to share some of my tips and tricks to make it much easier to accomplish it. Here we go! Alright guys, let's just jump straight into it. Many of you know that having regular content is extremely important. I do try to post on all of my social media, including YouTube, every single day. Now, I won't go into why that's so important. I think we all kind of have a basic understanding of that. But the gist of it is that the more content you post, the more people are going to see it. And of course, the algorithms on all those social media platforms will promote your content much more often. It's a numbers game. The challenge really becomes, how do we consistently post new relevant content? First and foremost, I'm not gonna lie, it is a challenge. It does take a sizable amount of work. However, like anything, you are gonna get better at it and you are gonna get much more efficient as things progress. So for example, when I first started doing YouTube videos every day, it's just me in front of a camera. I'm trying a little bit different of a setup today just because I want to see if it's any easier. But I have a Logitech webcam, and I'll link to some of the equipment I use down below. But I have a Logitech webcam that I normally use, as well as a Yeti Blue microphone. It's a pretty simple setup that I can plug into my laptop and run through some free software, which is OBS Studio, the 64-bit version. Bottom line, I can knock those videos out in about, they take me about half an hour to film on the high end. Sometimes I can knock them out in one take, which is like 15 minutes. So it really depends on how many mistakes I made and how comfortable I'm feeling in front of the camera. So what I've found is that when I first started, I'd have to sit down and spend a couple hours researching whatever topic it was, and then I would have to go in front of the camera and kind of fumble my way through the video, which would maybe take, that whole process of research could be 1 to 2 hours. The video could be about an hour. And then to actually sit down and edit the thing took a really long time. It took like 2 to 3 hours, and then another hour to do the thumbnail, and you're talking about several hours to upload, which granted, uploading it doesn't necessarily require my time, but it does take time to do. So all told, I was at like 6 to 8 hours when I first started to do a video. That's obviously not sustainable. So a few tips and tricks here that I've figured out that have really helped. First and foremost, if you're like me, chances are nothing is quite ever good enough to really feel good about releasing. I know that every time I release content, whether it's a photo or a video or article, whatever, in the back of my brain there's always part of me that goes, you could have done that better. We're our own biggest critics, and somebody said something to me recently about a month and a half, 2 months ago, which really has changed my opinion on posting videos and what I choose to post. And it was, don't let perfection be the enemy of completion. That's something I've really struggled with my whole life. But if you can remember that, that's huge. Don't worry about making it perfect. Just get it out there. You will get better as you progress. But you can't progress if you're not putting out content, if you're not putting things out and actually taking the leap and making things happen. So again, don't let perfection be the enemy of completion. Also, once you've really grasped that concept and you've really kind of honed in on like, all right, this is my social media plan. Let's say, for example, that you want to do 1 video a day, which is what I recommend. I started out, like I said, it was 6 to 8 hours for a video. But one of the other tips that I figured out, I will get in a really good, happy mood. Sometimes it's because I'm drinking an energy drink, you know, whatever it may be. But if I'm in a mood where I know I'm feeling right and it just feels like I could get in front of the camera and just knock out a bunch of videos, I do that. I sit down and I say, all right, let's pick a handful of videos. First and foremost, I have a list of videos that I want to make. So I pull that list up And then I go through that list and I pick 2 or 3, maybe 4 videos that are similar content. As far as research goes, I'll sit down and take maybe an hour tops, like half an hour to an hour, to research all of those videos, and I'll make a little list. In fact, I've got my list up here and I want to share this with you. But so I have just a little board that I kind of set up right behind my camera, and then I have a list of things that I want to go through on each video. So as I go through, I'll say, all right, I want to hit this point, this point, this point, this point, and this point. And that will actually sit right behind my camera. It's just a little tripod stand. And that'll sit right behind there so that I can actually see what I'm talking about, and so I don't get too sidetracked, which for me anyway is a big problem. So once I pick those videos, I'll do the research, I'll write 1 page of little bullet points I want to hit on each video, and then I literally just turn the camera on and I start. And if I'm in that good mood and I have some good energy and I'm feeling it, I'll crank out as many videos as I can. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I've even done as many as 7 or 8 videos in one afternoon, because when you're feeling it, you can really crank through them. So what I'll do is I'll create all that content, right? I'll film myself doing a bunch of these different videos, set them up in individual folders to be edited later. Then when I have some downtime, you know, I can sit on a plane and I can edit those, right? Or I could be on my lunch break at work and I could edit part of a video, right? Sometimes I can even edit a whole video. I've gotten the editing process down to about 45 minutes to an hour for a video. Once I had my end screen figured out and how that process worked, now I don't have to like resize. You notice in my end screens, you'll see them, they're like up in the top right corner, there's a little cutout video of me and I put little bloopers up there. I don't have to resize each one of those. Now I've figured out a way where I can just copy and paste from a previous video and paste the attributes to all those clips, so it's boom, it's right there. It's that perfect size right away. My intro is pretty straightforward. I figured out a way where I can just change the simple text in the video and then copy and paste, boom, that's right there. I figured out a way to get the audio all leveled out so it's all the same way. And this has happened over several weeks, maybe a month or so, where I'll have an issue and I'll just jump on YouTube and I'll search for a solution and figure it out. And now the whole process is pretty streamlined. Plus, when you're in a good mood filming and you're really on point and you're feeling it, when you take advantage of that and film a bunch of content, that makes the editing process easier. So right now, I feel like I'm in one of those moods, so I'm shooting this video. And the greatest part about it is that when I go back and edit this, you notice there's probably not going to be a whole lot of cuts in this video. I'm not making any like crazy, ridiculous mistakes. I'm sure I will at some point, but for the most part, this video is kind of flowing, right? So when you're in one of those moods, that's really going to help. Also, the more you do it, the more you're gonna, or I should say, the more you do it, the better you're gonna get at it. So that was probably gonna be a cut. Point being, you're gonna get smoother as you go, and the less cuts you have to make, the quicker that editing process really goes. So if I can get my editing process down to about half an hour per video, which is my goal right now, that means I can film, I can research in half an hour, shoot in half an hour, edit in half an hour, and then I can do my upload research, which I do like search engine optimization, and I try to get my videos ranked on YouTube. If I can get that down to half an hour, that's 2 hours per video per day. And because I'm also creating a thumbnail, which I've gotten that down from about an hour to roughly 5 to 10 minutes now, you know, I'm still at about roughly 2 hours is the goal to be able to do one of these videos. I have done it faster than that. If I can crank out one take on the video and it's a 10 or 12 minute video, that's 10 or 12 minutes, right? And then if I have like minimal mistakes in that video and I go over to the editing process, I can just drag and drop that in there with maybe one cut. Boom, that was a 10 or 15 minute editing process. At that point, I'm at about 20 to 30 minutes of time, and I put 5 or 10 minutes into the thumbnail and 15 minutes into research or something. I can potentially release a video in less than an hour. It's pretty crazy. So you definitely can improve things over time, and as you get better at it, you'll only consistently decrease the amount of time that you really need. I'm gonna pause for just a second because the laundry machine went into spin cycle mode. Wife, your laundry is killing me.
If I didn't do laundry, I'd kill you. I'll stink.
this.
You're welcome.
God, how long does that spin cycle take?
Seconds that feel like minutes.
No, that was a solid, like, 3 minutes.
That was not 3 minutes.
That was a 3-minute spin cycle.
Oh my god.
Now you've thrown me off my game, and I don't know how I'm going to finish this video. I don't even remember where I was.
You'll figure it out.
You're right, I will figure it out. Because I'm better than a laundromat. She was doing this and scratching her nose, her middle finger there. That's what marriage really is. You just annoy each other until one of you dies. Oh shit, I really don't remember where I was now. I gotta fucking think about this. What were we talking about? What was I talking about? Basically, you get better the more you do it, I think was the gist of it. Now, there are other services that I use. For example, I do use a service called Hootsuite. I've kind of showed some of that in another video, which I'll try to link right up here. But Hootsuite is a great service that really helps me in particular with Instagram, but you can also do that with a lot of other services. You can also do that with a lot of other social media platforms. So I use it for Instagram and Facebook primarily, but you can also use it with Twitter, you can use it with YouTube, you can use it with I don't even know all the different social media platforms. But it's pretty wild. You can use it with a lot of different ones, and that allows you to schedule posts to push them out into the future. So like right now I have about 4 weeks of Instagram daily posts scheduled out, and so I theoretically would never have to go deal with that. And the nice part is they're already pre-programmed to the automatic right time or the best time to post because Instagram, or Hootsuite rather, kind of uses Instagram's algorithm and analytics to figure out the best time to post your content. So that's definitely helpful. However, if you don't want to use one of those services, you can do a lot of that in YouTube. So for example, in YouTube, when you go to your Creator Studio, you'll notice that when you upload something, you can select, I think it's private, unlisted, public, and scheduled, and you'll see scheduled is the one that you want to choose. When you upload something, say scheduled, and then you can actually schedule it out for a later date. You could also do unlisted, and that would allow you at some point to go in and manually change it to public. So I do both of those techniques if I can't release it at the proper time, which lately has for me been in the afternoon my time, like 2 to 3 o'clock Mountain Time, so roughly 4 to 5 o'clock p.m. obviously 4 to 5 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time. I will go in and release the video at that point in time, but if I'm not available to release it myself, I'll schedule it for that time. Instagram doesn't really allow you to schedule posts. Facebook does, so those are nice things to do. So you can go in and schedule a lot of posts ahead of time. I highly recommend you get comfortable with doing that. The biggest challenge with doing that is that you need to make sure you're still engaging people. You don't want to just post something and then never respond to people's comments. 2 reasons that's really important. Number one, you really want to build, as we talked about yesterday, you really want to build trust with your audience, and the best way to do that is to interact with them. That's the greatest part about social media to begin with, is that you have direct interaction with your fans, with your followers, and they can directly reach you. It's incredible, so take advantage of that. And obviously, the other best thing about social media is that not only do you have that great interaction, but you can build trust. That's what we were talking about the other day. You can build trust with your audience, and unless you really do something to endanger that, that's probably the most valuable thing you're ever going to have. So I highly recommend you take the time to engage with people that are liking and commenting and sharing your posts, especially when you're a younger, smaller brand. It's definitely important because people appreciate that. I know for myself, when I've reached out to larger followers in the past, or I've commented on somebody's photo or whatever, and they say something back, I'm always excited about it, right? It feels like it's a genuine interaction. So I try to give that to people as much as I possibly can. So again, scheduling posts is really big. It definitely helps quite a bit as long as you can maintain regular, as in daily, engagement with those posts and with your fans and your followers. And you definitely want to just actually post content. Now, of course, it is difficult sometimes, especially in the beginning, to find time to create the content, but if you break it down, it's much easier. So like I said, try and film several videos at the same time if you can. Obviously it's a little different if you're doing a vlog, but you can film multiple vlogs at the same time. And there's all kinds of different things you can do, but if you break it up, film multiple videos at the same time, you can edit multiple videos at the same time. Once you get your intro and your outro and your graphic package figured out, which is, you know, your thumbnail or whatever, once all of that's figured out, which is a little bit of a front-loaded workflow, but once it's done, and you really do get faster at it. So those are some of my best practices for using in social media just to help you get more content out there. Just remember the main goal: don't let perfection be the enemy of completion. Hope you guys are having a great one. Take it easy, and always remember, do what drives you. I will see you in the next one.
Bye-bye!
Oh, thanks, wife. You waited for that one, you scandalous.
I did.
I'm getting good at these intros, man. I'm getting better at this whole thing. It's happening quick. Alright guys, let's just jump right into it, except that that stupid washing machine just started the spin cycle, so it might be a little bit.
Spin cycle!
Damn it, wife, with the laundry. Wife, your laundry is killing me.
I want to be clean.